Hey everyone, it's Michael here. I just wanted to introduce to you my new show, called the Awakened Warrior Yoga Show. Very original. Quarantine edition. And in this series of videos I'm going to be bringing to you, I'm going to be interviewing some of our graduates, some of our trainees, some of our guest teachers who come in and speak to our trainees during the teacher training. And today's first guest is a very special guest. She has been with me since the very beginning when I opened up my yoga school in the Bronx, and her name is Denise. So bravo to Denise for completing her training years ago and stepping up and being a teacher and just helping me with my trainings in New York as well. So today you're going to get a chance to meet her. You've heard me tell her story. For those of you who are graduates, you've heard me tell her story in class of how she brought a tremendous amount of value not only to my studio but to many people's lives. All right, so without further ado, let's enjoy this interview with Denise. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
New show.
Nice to be here. It's a beautiful day in New York today. So
I know you started your live video classes, and tell us a little bit about how that's going. How is it teaching, to your screen or your phone or have you versus teaching,
it's unusual because I'm not sure if I can be seen, if I can be heard properly, if the lighting's okay. And also I'm very kind of like an intuitive teacher, so I never go in with a plan. I sort of feed off of whoever's there and work my class based around the students' needs. So it's a little weird for me to have no one actually in front of me.
That's good. But your set looked great, by the way. It looked really pretty. You put really some.
Thank you. Although when I first looked at it, I'm like, it reminded me of that movie with Risky Business. Like I should have ran in with some shades on.
That's funny. You should have done that. But that's wonderful. It's wonderful. So tell us, how has this whole experience been for you? What have you been doing to maintain, to keep sane, to get through the days? Like, what's been your daily routine, or what do you want to share with people that maybe they can learn from?
Well, I don't know. At first it was a little unnerving. I have a very busy work schedule, so I'm always doing something every day. So it was really weird to just be home and not have anywhere to go. But now it's I think like week 3 already. So for me, at this point I'm working on projects. I have things going on in my garden. I rearranged a room. My floors have never been so clean. I actually painted my toenails today. So I'm making the best of it, and I'm actually enjoying being home.
I wonder if, like, for yogis, if it's easier, because our focus and our mindset is a lot of turning within, disconnecting from external things, doing a lot of self-realization, self-study. I wonder if it's an easier experience to some degree for yogis.
Yeah, it may be. It may be. I know every time I say to myself, I change my internal dialogue. Like every time I think, oh, I'm stuck inside, I say to myself, I'm safe inside. I'm good. I'm lacking absolutely nothing. I'm really blessed in this situation. I think of those that aren't as blessed.
Yes. No, that's great. That's a great.
So that sort of keeps me grounded, and give myself a reality check every now and then. Not everyone's doing as well as I am.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we have to be grateful that we're healthy. We're grateful that we're alive. We're grateful that we have friends, our family, we have food, we have a home. Because you're right, there are many people here in LA. You drive by, I'm sure in New York as well. I used to see it all the time riding on the subways. Homeless people. They're in tents. They're sleeping on the street. And we have to really keep things in perspective. That no matter how difficult or challenging it may be, like, we're getting to stay inside our nice homes. The fridge full of food or what have you. So we have to keep things in perspective. Very nice. So tell us a little bit about your yoga journey. You have a pretty fascinating story. So tell us about, whatever, as much as you want to share, as little as you want to share, but what was your experience like, your introduction to yoga and becoming a yoga teacher? I mean, it's been how many years now have you been teaching?
10 years.
10 years. Oh my gosh.
This past October made 10 years.
Amazing. That's great.
And it's gone by so fast. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it has. And it's just been a flash in the pan for me. Like, I enjoy it so much. Like they say, find a job that you love and never work a day again in your life. And that's what it's like for me.
Absolutely.
So I really enjoy it.
Good.
And I mean, my first yoga class was back in my 20s, and first time I went to college, and it was like this older guy, 6:30 in the morning. I needed the extra credit, so I took this class, and it was more meditative type yoga, so there was no asana at all. So it's a lot of just sitting there, and very hard to do at 6:30 in the morning. So everyone would fall asleep, and he would be like, "Oh, if you need to sleep, sleep." Yogis, you know how we are. Do what you need to do for yourself. So I didn't care for it very much. So then I took some classes in the city throughout the years, and then what brought me to your studio was my brother had passed away, and I was in a very, very dark place, and I was just consumed with grief, and it was affecting me physically. I had acid reflux issues. My asthma was out of control. And it was all because of the grief around the situation. And I remember telling my best friend, like, I'm sinking into a dark hole. I don't know how to get myself out of this. Like, it's been months already. I should be over this. And I just couldn't do it. And here came your studio, and she called me one day. She's like, guess what? A yoga studio opened up the block for me, and I bought you a 1-month pass. We're going this Saturday.
Wow.
And the rest is history, Michael. I went to one of the classes. I'm not sure if it was you or Angela, my first class, but I loved it. And I if you can recall, I was there maybe 2-3 times a day. During Shavasana, that 10-15 minutes of resting at the end of class was some days, the only sleep I was getting the entire day. So the practice made a big impression on my life. Within 3 months, I was off my acid reflux medication. Yeah, my body felt so much better. I exercised back then, but the type of exercise I was doing was just aggravating the conditions I had.
Yes.
So I needed something new, and yoga was it.
Amazing.
And the rest is history. The training came up, and I was probably the runt of the class, right? Like, trying to keep up, like, oh my God, this is so challenging, so hard. But I think I had probably the biggest heart.
Yes.
Out of everyone, and I went in with the idea of, I'm going to heal from this. I'm going to become stronger. I'm going to change my mindset. I'm not going to be stuck in this victim role for the rest of my life. And sure enough, like, within a couple of days of the training, I said that I got to teach. I was so impressed by you, by Andrew, by Yoshio, all the teachers involved in the training, that I said I have to do what they do. I have to share this as well, because it transformed me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I always share your story in the trainings, when I teach them here in LA, wherever live. And I always share, like, how you went from being a student to then becoming a teacher to then, basically becoming my right-hand man, so to speak, right-hand woman in different things, from assisting me at the studio to then, when I started doing TV commercials, you also had a background in television.
Things happen for a reason.
Exactly. And I always tell the trainees too that, what's great about you is that you finished your teacher training, and then you went on to learning other skills and getting other certifications. So you brought a tremendous amount of value. And when I give the business of yoga discussion, I tell people, as a teacher, everyone, it's not everyone, but a lot of people get certified and they have their 200 hour, and then they're just going to local yoga studios applying for jobs, but I always tell people, if you have more skills, you have more to offer, like restorative yoga, or I think in your case, if I'm not mistaken, you did prenatal and kids yoga?
Yes, I did prenatal and kids yoga as well. And that really opened up the arena for me. Most of the yoga I've taught over the years have been to specialized groups, whether it be seniors or children or prenatal or developmentally challenged adults. That has been a big part of my teaching, working with adults, that span the entire spectrum.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's some time, right? How long have you been teaching the adults?
Oh, like 6 or 7 years now. I've been with that group. Yeah, they miss me right now terribly. I miss them as well. And I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be like starting over when I get back. They were like at the 30-second chaturanga challenge, holding for 30 seconds, and we started in the new year. So all the guys were all psyched, and everyone was getting really strong.
That's great.
So we'll have to go back to that when I get back.
That's great. How have you found? Because that's something that I don't think is most yoga teachers who don't have any experience in that world, don't have special needs training or have some a draw to that world. How have you found yoga to help them? How have you seen their improvement or how they absorb the yoga practice or the teachings or the
Yeah.
physical?
Well, I went in really like concerned that I didn't have a background with that population, and basically just going in with the yoga heart and reminding myself every day, have compassion, try to see yourself in them, allow them to be the mirror. Um, that's how I kind of created a bond with them, and then giving them the one thing I learned. Of course, the behavior improved, and just giving them the opportunity to sort of have a voice and listen to them and give them a voice and let them express with their bodies. And sometimes we play games. I'll let whoever wants to come up front and lead the class. I give them the opportunity to be leaders within their peers.
Awesome.
So I've seen amazing amount of growth. I've had participants that were non-vocal. They've become vocal.
Wow.
So it's amazing. It's amazing to see that over the years, see that transformation. And
That's beautiful. Yeah. Well,
and
bravo.
I have a couple of students that could teach the entire class if I needed them to.
Wow. That's so great. That's amazing. It's like you never know. You never know. I'm always so happy. I say, look, I could only teach with so many people, but as long as I keep teaching others to teach, now we're reaching people that we would never have thought and never have dreamed of. Different parts of the world, people on different levels of and everything. It's just amazing. So I'm very happy.
I have a lot of students like that also. I know I was their first teacher, their first introduction to yoga, and now I see them and I see their practice, and they're like standing on their heads and on one finger and splits and leg behind the head, and they've like surpassed me in so many, physically have surpassed me like by miles, but it makes me so happy that
Incredible.
That they're doing that. It's great.
That's really great.
I remember it's like I could be like, I remember when that person couldn't touch their toes. And now they're doing great things with their bodies and within their communities also spreading yoga love, as I like to call it.
That's awesome. And then you went, so you studied kids yoga, you did prenatal, if I'm mistaken, did you do Reiki as well?
I did Reiki probably before I did prenatal and kids. I was already studying Reiki with a couple of different teachers. And just one thing always leads to the next. And then I did crystal training. So now I do a combination of crystals and Reiki together, depending on, whomever's interested.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now your biggest venture is becoming a licensed massage therapist.
Yes. Yes. So now I actually get to touch people's aches and pains and knead it out of them.
That's great. How was that experience? How was that? How long?
That was a great experience. It was quite challenging because my background, of course, is in television production. So my education is in that realm of the world. I never had to take a science class before, so it was quite challenging having to take all the science classes, anatomy and physiology, and all the science classes involved. When it came to myology and kinesiology, of course, I did really well because of my yoga training.
Right.
So the yoga really helped me because I already had a good understanding of how the body moves and what muscles do. So that was really helpful. And then having the Reiki background, just being able to connect to people and their energy and their breath, and having that intuitive aspect of touch.
Yes.
That really helped me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. You're multi-talented.
Got to roll with the times.
Absolutely. So what advice or what can you tell people, as far as dealing with this situation, having to stay home, and in terms of like how can they incorporate yoga, or would you encourage people to do yoga who have never done it before? One of the things that I forgot to mention, when we had the studio in the Bronx, once we introduced your class, which was we labeled it, gentle yoga. And it was funny because we saw everyone like leave the other class and go to gentle. Like they went from level 1 to gentle. No, you gotta go up, not down.
I remember a few times purposely teaching a level 1 class, and then at the end saying, "Guess what? Everyone just did level 1. You could go to the next class now."
Exactly, because there was this fear that people would think, "Oh, I can't handle level 1," and they were gentle, and then they would just stay there, and they loved it. One of my friends, Gary. Yeah.
I think for some people, it's that fear of I can't do this, I'm not strong enough, whatever. And those are the people that eventually do move on. But sometimes it's people that they are physically fit, but their lives are so hectic, their jobs are so stressful that they don't want to do anything to add more stress to the body. They just want a easy flow, take it easy, relax, and move the body in a more, in a gentler way, more maybe yin type way, instead of doing a fiery, energetic class.
Right. That's great.
Great. I had a dancer that loved my class, and I'm like, this girl's a dancer. She could do anything with her body. She's like, I'm so stressed. I don't want it. I just want something gentle. So in that respect, it's finding that balance.
And I think that's important. I think that everyone has to find the type of class that they need. I always tell the story in the training as well that, when I first discovered restorative yoga, it was like, wow, this is incredible.
Isn't it great?
Because I'm used to that fiery, intense, fast paced inversions, heavy, and then going to complete extreme and going into restorative was completely like so unusual for me, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I totally get what you're saying, and I think that gentle yoga is a great,
and as someone I teach more classes more on the gentle side, every now and then I crave the fiery, more challenging, sweaty class. It feels just as good. Depends on what the body needs.
Absolutely. So you think that for people who are home, who are new to yoga, let's say, if they take your class and I know you're doing live classes, we'll share your schedule in a moment, but you think that that's a good approach for them? They should try a nice gentle class if they're new to it?
Yeah. I would say try, one step at a time, right? We didn't learn to walk in one day.
Yes.
So start gentle and move your way up.
Excellent. And what days and times are you teaching so we can
I will be teaching Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 1:00 because I really want to try to make it a lunchtime yoga. This way people that are working from home can stop and take a break and rejuvenate themselves a bit with the class.
I'm going to say, and to wrap it up, and anything you want to offer people or any yoga wisdom you want to share, yoga love?
Like I said earlier, my mantra has become, I'm not stuck inside, I'm safe inside, right? Try to count your blessings every day, have gratitude in your heart. I always tell my regular students, a heart that's filled with gratitude has no space for depression, has no space for anxiety, right? Because you're so focused and grateful for that, for what you do have, right?
Absolutely.
We all know the shortest prayer, thank you.
That's right. Right. Yes, love it.
Just be grateful and try to exercise for 20 minutes every day. Try to do one thing a day that would be normal to your daily routine if you are missing your daily routine. Wake up and think of the 3 things you're grateful for. Go to bed and think of 3 things you're grateful for when you go to bed. Learn something new. There's so much on the internet. Read that book that that's collecting dust that you've been throwing to the side. I've caught up on a couple of books already. That's been really great. Call a friend.
Yes.
Right? Call a friend. I've spoken with so many people I haven't spoken to in ages because sometimes life truly doesn't let you live.
Yes.
And connect the way you would like to. So call me. You could call me. Call a friend. I don't know.
That was great.
I'm gardening. Find out hot things that you always had an interest in. Research it and try something new.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much. Happy to have you on my show.
Thank you. Thank you for making me your first guest. I'm sorry.
Awesome. Well, have a great evening, and we'll spread the word about your classes and everyone. Definitely. And do you want to share your social media? Do you want them to follow you or anything like that? Do you want to share?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Denise Rivera LMT. I'm not. I want to try to keep it on my class on Facebook because it's easier. But I like the Zoom also because you can actually interact with people. So let's see. Maybe next week I'll try that out and see how that works.
Excellent. That's
But I'll try to let everyone know the best possible way they can join me. So please friend me, Denise Rivera LMT at Facebook. My web address, Denise Rivera LMT at Google. So send me your email as well, just in case I need to send you an invite. Or if you just want to, talk or have any questions about yoga, Michael's Awaken Warrior yoga programs, anything related to massage or aches and pains in the body, please feel free to reach out. I'm always more than happy to help anyone in any way I can.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Bye, Michael.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, there you have it. Thank you for watching our show. Please follow us on social media at Awaken Warrior Yoga. And if you are interested in our yoga teacher training, you can go to www.awakenwarrior.yoga. So instead of .com, it's .yoga. Awakenwarrior.yoga. Thanks for watching. Please spread this video, share the news, let people know what we're doing, trying to make a difference in the world, and trying to help people during these challenging times. All right. Peace and blessings. Namaste.